Welcome to the solution video for round 3. So in this challenge we are looking at how we can group similar items together so that we have one name for one item. If you're new to this channel and you want to improve your Power BI skills, then hit that subscribe button and you will stay up to date on our challenges and insights on Power BI. Now let's get started. The end goal of this challenge is to build a map visualization that shows us where we can find the best wines in the world. We have a data set with 20,000 wine reviews, and we always have data on the wine, the region, and also the score that this wine got. Now, where this data set still needs a bit of cleaning is the region column, because there we have different names for the same region. Okay, now let's go there, and I'm going to sort in ascending order. Now here you see, for example, for the first region, we have it sometimes with capital letters and the A is missing. And here we have lowercase letters, but with an A in the end. Now to help us clean the region column, we have a second mapping table where we have all of the correct names for the provinces, okay, with also information on the country. And we want to map the different variations for each item with the final name that we have here in the provinces. Okay, and in this way we can remove different ways of writing a single item, and here we also sometimes going to group a couple of regions together inside of one province. Now the first part that you might have when you need to group similar text items together is to actually use the grouping feature. So if you go to the region column and then to column tools, then you see we can create a new data group. Now from here, you can then, for example, say, okay, we're gonna group certain regions together in a new column that we're gonna call province. And here we can group these first two together. So we have Achaya, and then I want to have a new name, for example, Achaya, okay? And I can continue just like that. However, it's gonna be quite a lot of manual work if you have 20,000 rows and a lot of different provinces, okay? And it's not very dynamic. Okay, so therefore, I do not really recommend going this direction. So let's have a look at an alternative. Now, I think the easiest way to do this is with Power Query. So let's open it up. Now to make it a little bit easier to see what I'm doing, I'm just going to remove all of the columns that I don't need at the moment, okay? And then later on, I will delete this tab, okay? So I'm going to go here to choose columns. And I'm only going to keep the wine and the region, and everything else I'm going to get rid of. And now I want to map this table with the locations table. However, there's no exact match between the province column and the region column, okay? And that's where we can make use of a feature called fuzzy match. Now let's have a look. I'm going to go to the Home tab and then click here on Merge Queries. And here at the top, this is my left table. There we have the wines dataset. And then we have a second table with the location mapping. And I want to map the second table with the first table on the basis of the region column and the province column. So only when there is an exact match, this will work. However, that defeats the purpose because we want to match with the items that are almost the same, okay? So that we can replace it with the correct name for that item. And that's where we can make use of fuzzy match. Now, first of all, let's talk about the join kind. Okay, so here I would like to keep it left outer, okay? Because I want to keep all of the rows from the main data set. Okay, and then try to match everything that I can match from the locations table. So that's why I stick to the left outer, and I'm gonna use fuzzy match now. Now here you see it already improves how many items we can match. Okay, so we went from 600 to 2,528 rows out of the 20,000 rows. Okay, not great yet. However, we can further tweak it by having a closer look at the different options. Now here we can increase or decrease the similarity threshold, and what we want to do is put in a lower threshold. Now the default is 0.8. Okay, so this gives me exactly still the same, but now we can slowly start decreasing it. Now watch out that you don't decrease it too much, because then items might be matched incorrectly. So you just want to go down as much as is necessary. For example, here, if we decrease it now to 0.7, you see we already have 8,079 matches. So you just keep on going down and down. And you see when I'm at 0.6, almost all of the rows are matched. Okay, so let's try now 0.55. You see now we have almost everything matched except 11 rows. Okay, so at this point, it might already be interesting to figure out, okay, which rows were actually not mapped. Okay, and what you can do then is, just as an intermediate step, you can go here to the join kind and then, for example, say left empty. Yeah? So rows that are only in the first but could not be matched with rows in the second one. Okay, now let's have a quick look, because this could be interesting. So I'm going to click here on OK. And you see that where it did not find a good match was for the region Bio-Bow Valley. All right. Now, in this case, we're not going to do anything with that. We're just going to decrease the threshold a little bit further so that also this region got mapped. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to change the join kind back to a left outer. And then fuzzy match, and let's decrease it then to 0.5. Now we have 20,000 matches out of 20,000. I'm going to click on OK. Now this was just the first step. So now you see we have an extra column that contains nested tables. Okay, so also if you click in the blank space of such a table, you see the matched rows from that other data set. Now the next step is to say, okay, which columns do you actually want to bring over from that other data set? Now, and this process is called expanding, which you can do by clicking on that button that you find in the locations header. Now, we do not necessarily need over here the original column name as a prefix, so that's why I'm going to uncheck that box, and I want to bring over all of the columns from the second data set. I'm going to click here on OK, and now it seems to be working. Now you see, for example, for the first line, we have the region Ashai, and this will now be replaced by the province name Ashaya. Okay, and all of these different spellings are now grouped under a common name Ashaya, and the same for the other regions. However, you might notice a problem. Okay, so if I, for example, now click here on transform and then on count rows, we have 23,833 rows. Now, how is it possible that we end up with more rows than we started off with? Now, that's the problem with fuzzy match, because for each region, it might find now a couple of different provinces that are almost spelled the same. And the lower the similarity threshold, the more almost matches it finds. Okay, and for each match or almost match, it will duplicate that row. Okay, so if it finds two matches instead of one row, it will create a second row. Okay, then it duplicates the data from the first table. Now let's see this. Now you see here on row 6 to 10, we have the same wine. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that we have only one review per wine. Okay, so what happens is that here we have the same region, we have a few almost matches, and it duplicated that information from the first table for each almost match that we have. Okay, and this is not what we want. So we have to tweak our fuzzy match a little bit further. So we can do this by going back to our merge query step. I'm going to go to fuzzy match options, and if we scroll down a little bit further, you see that we can say that we do want to ignore case, so that is important for us. Then also we want to match by combining text parts. Okay, so here as an example, it will say if you have something like micro space soft, then it will still match it with Microsoft. Now what we are interested in is the maximum number of matches. So here we only want to return one match, the best one that it can find. Now let's try it again. I'm I'm going to click here on OK and go to the last step in my query. Now, first of all, it seems that this resolved the problem because here on row 6 to 10, we now have different wines and the data did not get duplicated anymore. But to double check, let's go here to transform and then also do a count rows. Now you see we have 20,000 rows again, so it seemed to have resolved the problem. And let's now also bring back some of the columns that we will need for our visualizations later. So I'm going to go here to my removed other columns tab. And I'm going to bring back the number of points that each wine got. And I also want to have the winery. And then let's click here on OK. And then I only want to load the main data set, not the location. So I'm going to right click on locations and disable the load. Now let's have a quick first impression if our dataset is cleaned up in the way that we intended to. So we have here the region column and the mapped province. All right, so you see different ways of writing. The same region is now being mapped with the common denominator and the common name for that region. And that is here Bordeaux in the first couple of lines. Now to figure it out if it also worked for all of the other ones, we can create maybe a matrix visualization and do a quick double check. Okay, so I'm going to go here to the report view. So here in the report view, let's make a matrix visualization. I'm going to put the country and then we want to have also province here on the rows. And then we can expand down and do a quick check if the mapping seems to make sense. Now, by creating a matrix visualization, you can do a quick common sense check. So, for example, here, Australia, you see we have Australia Other, South Australia, Western Australia. That seems to be working fine. And also, if let's go here to France, now Alsace and Bordeaux, like all regions in France. So the mapping seems to be working. Now, if you also want to check a little bit more in detail, you can also put region on it. And then expand further down. For example, if we go here to Bordeaux, and now you see all of the different regions that were mapped to the province Bordeaux. For our dataset, it's working pretty well. However, it can also go wrong. And actually it did in one case. And let's go to Chile. And here you see we have Central Valley, which is also a province in Chile. However, there's also a Central Valley in United States, California, okay? And because it's so similar to each other, it might happen that it gets mapped to Chile while it should have been mapped to United States and the other way around. Now, in this case, it actually went wrong. You see, if we go one step further down in our hierarchy, we have California, Central Valley, okay? So in this case, the fuzzy match worked probably for 99% of our wines, yeah? But it's still important that you double check. And if you find items for which it didn't work, we have to build a workaround, right? So let's fix this. I'm going to go back to Power Query. Now let's first concentrate on the item where it actually went wrong so that you really understand what happened. So here we have the region column. I'm just going to go here to transform, format, lowercase, and then I'm going to put a text filter in place. So the text should contain Central Valley. I'm going to click here on OK. Now you see for the first couple of lines it actually works fine. So every time we have California in it, it gets mapped to the province California. However, then we have on row 11 California Central Valley, and there the majority is actual Central Valley. And by coincidence, there's also a state in Chile called Central Valley. Okay, so it gets mapped to the wrong location. Now, this is more of an exception, but we still need to be able to deal with them. And to do that, we can use what's called a transformation table, in which you're gonna deal with all these kinds of exceptions that we have. So that we say when we have California Central Valley, let me copy it, then we want to have California. So let's jump to Excel, and here we have a from and a to column. Okay, so this is important. You need these two columns, and here I pasted the value that we identified, California Central Valley, And once we find this one, we want to map it to California. All right. Now let me jump back to Power BI. I'm going to connect to that table. So over here, new source. It's going to be an Excel source. I'm going to select my transformation table. And there you go. We have our transformation table inside of Power BI. I'm going to jump back to the main data set. And I'm going to go to the merged queries tab. And let's edit it. And here on the fuzzy matching options, you find at the bottom that you can choose a transformation table. Now, we just imported our transformation table. So let's select it. And let's click here on OK again. And let's see if this solved our problem. I'm going to go to the last step. Now let's check out row 11 and 14. So here we have California Central Valley, and now it gets mapped to California. All right. So now before we apply our changes, let's get rid of the filtered rows tab and the lowercase text tab, and then apply our changes and go back to our report. Now that we have fixed our problem in the backend, we are ready to create the visualizations. So you see that we have country, province, winery, wine, basically a hierarchy. So let's create one. I'm going to take province and put on country. You see we have now the hierarchy that we created. Let's then also put in the winery and the wine as well. And let's rename the hierarchy to wine hierarchy. So instead of having the individual fields here on rows, I'm going to replace them with the hierarchy itself. And then on the values, I would like to have the average points. Okay, so I'm going to take points and put it on values. Now make sure that you change the summary aggregation to average. And then let's then also sort them in descending order. Now that we have sorted them in descending order, we see that the best paints are in Canada and Spain, then Austria, Turkey, etc. Now let's also build now a map visualization. I'm going to take country, put it on location, and then also province. I'm going to put it right below it. And we want to know how many wines were reviewed for each region. Now let's have the size of the bubbles be determined by the number of reviews for that specific location. So I'm going to take wine and put it on size. And you see it already takes the count of wine, so how many rows we had for each wine. Okay, so now that we have this, let's go here to format and add some color to it and make these bubbles a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go first to bubbles and increase the bubble size. And then I also want to change the data colors. So instead of having just one color, I'm going to use over here conditional formatting. We're going to go for color scale, but I'm going to change it so that it uses the points field. I'm going to take the average, and let's also choose a different color blue. So I'm going to take here dark blue and press OK. So now we can, for example, click here on France. And you see it zooms in on France, shows the different regions. For example, here we have Alsace, and also how many wines we have from Alsace. So 2062 rows, so it's a big region. Then we can expand further down and you see the different regions in France and also the different wineries. So if we want to know which wineries exactly, and then we can further expand down. And then here you see the best winery in that region. And if we want to know the best wines for that winery, you just expand further down. Now that's it for this challenge on how to group similar items together under one name. Now, if you want to stay up to date on new challenges or insights on Power BI, then don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.